All right. Hey, good morning, Tigers. How we doing? Y'all have a good weekend? Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, good. I had a great weekend too. I'm glad to see y'all back here. Appreciate making great decisions, at least so far. I haven't seen anything on a blotter or any other calls, so I appreciate that. So hopefully that holds true for the next couple days. We actually did all make good decisions. Okay, so what's the date today? 9/11, right? And so, real quick before I get into some more questions, how many people are under 22 years old right now? Raise your hand if you're under 22. Yeah, crazy, right? Yeah. So we're gonna spend a little bit of time talking about 9/11. All right, and the 22-year anniversary of 9/11, right? And I think I've got kind of three major points that I'd like to talk about with it. Number one is today is important because we lost 2,977 Americans on this day, right? And that's not a small thing, right? When you look at the death of one person, the rippling effect of their spouses, their family, brothers, sisters, friends, and the shockwave that sent across many lives, it's very significant, right? And so the loss of life there is not something that we should kind of blow past, and definitely spend some time remembering how precious life is in general. Rajo, we'll get to that in a minute. Number two, from an organizational perspective, from our mission perspective, we never know when the next 10th of September may be. You guys know what I mean by that? Right? When is today the day before the world changes tomorrow? Does that make sense? We don't know. We have no idea. On September 10th, we walked around as if nothing were going to change, right? I was a junior in college. I was applying for a weekend job at Home Depot to work, get some extra cash my junior year, and completely oblivious that the world was going to change at 8:30 on that following day. Does that make sense? And we don't know when that is right now. But I wasn't in the military. Anybody here in the military on 9/11? Michelle was? Right. So the effects on the military on 9/11 were pretty significant, right? What we are today is largely a reflection of good, bad, or indifferent, a reflection of that day on 9/11 22 years ago, right? And we don't know when that day is going to be. So for us, we've got to be ready because today could be the next 9/10, right? It could kick off tomorrow, right? We could have missiles land in Poland that kill a bunch of Americans and NATO allies tomorrow that will change our future moving into the next day and the next 10, 20, 30 years. Does that make sense? And so what I challenge you with on that is, what are the things that you will not let go, that you will make sure your team is able to do today in case tomorrow the world changes? Does that make sense? We go through today and we think we always have tomorrow, right? We think we've got, hey, we'll train on that next week, we'll train on that. Well, what are the things that you're going to be unrelenting on? And you'll say, no matter what, if we go tomorrow, my team is going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. Does that make sense? All of you should have that. If you're a leader, you should have that. You should understand that. And on an individual level, you got to have your team ready to go because, again, your team here and your team at home ready to go. Does that make sense? And then just that kind of segues into my last point. On a much more personal level, is what's important to you, and making sure that you are grateful for every day, right? A little bit of gratitude, grateful for every day, and what are the important things? What are the things that are important to you? You think about those families and those people that went to work on 9/11. 3,000 people went to work. You think how many of those folks that survived wish they would have had dinner with their spouse that didn't, right? Or woken up and talked to their kids and said I love you one more time before they left for work that day, right? what's important to you, and nothing gets in the way of that. Does that make sense?
Oh.
That's the important thing, right? Like, hey, I can tell you, like Friday, come hell or high water, minus a global event happening, right? I'm going to my son's football game, right? Because that's important. He's a senior, and I don't have very much time with him left before he moves on, and that's really important to me, and I'm going. What is that to you, right? Don't miss them. Be there. Be at the important things. You won't get them back, and you never know when that changes. Rajo?
Oh.
Okay. All right. So a little bit deep there, but we mean that, right? That is important, and so make sure you go do it. So with that, we're gonna have a great week. I'm gonna turn it over to Tiger Stick.
Yeah, no, Sergeant Major hit it on the head, and there's this little acronym I like to use with what he was saying. It's what's important now, win, right? What is winning for you? All right, day to day, what is winning in your formation? What is winning when you get home? What is important now, right? So think about that. He talked about like, hey, is this the last day that you're going to be able to say good morning or I love you to your loved ones, spouse, family members, whatever? Like, what's important now? Be present. When you're at home, be present with the folks that you're at home with. When you're here, be present doing the right thing with what you got to do here. All right. On a less somber note, we've got an award to give out to our softball team. So let me have all the softball players come on up here.
Hell yeah!
So these guys were representing, off duty, getting after it. Ended up placing second in the tournament. But I think it got third in the league, which was in Pope Air Force Base. But these guys were putting in a lot of time and effort on their own time, showing that the Tiger Battalion is here to win things. So, Chief, you got anything to say?
Just real quick, I want to thank everyone that came out to support the team. Most importantly, for all your spouses, for letting you try and do this. Time away from the family, time away from the kids. Come out and do this. Thank you guys also. These guys had a Saturday game where we played 3 games to crawl and scratch and claw our way out of the losers bracket to come back and play the #1 team. We ended up placing second, but we still got a trophy to present. So thank you guys. Thank everybody.
Woo!
MVP.
Come on, MVP.
Present the trophy to you, sir.
I'm down with the softball team. Brought a second place trophy home, but nonetheless, still winning out the first place.
I got my name on it. Yeah, no, not only was I participated in 1 game. Unfortunately, I didn't get to make many, but hey, if there's a sport going on, get with it. These are your friends in this formation. Get with them, figure out things that you guys can do. Appreciate this. Go up in the battalion, or maybe I'll keep it in Chief Hamburg's office for a little bit. But I think there's flag football sign-ups. Do we have a flag football team? Who's the flag football guru?
Better figure it out. Hey, they need it now.
Yeah, they need that roster like most prickly and tickly. So appreciate you. Give them another round of applause.
Hell yeah! We got Brecken Patel here.
All right. So another couple things. So for today, what's important now, right? Today, it's JBCP and the COMEX. All right. So let's make sure we pull all that stuff out and operate our JBCPs. Listen to the Army, regimental lessons learned last week. JBCP came up like 3 or 4 times as one of our few means that we have to communicate with our maneuver forces. So radios aren't working for us because we're on a different radio level than some of our maneuver forces, and they're all over the spectrum with what they're using. JBCP is the one thing that we have that operates that allows us to communicate. If we can't communicate with who we're working for, we're not doing our mission, right? So if we don't know where to be, we can't be there and do what we need to do. So JBCP is utterly important to what we do. The other things we got going on this week, We're looking at the ORS, so IRF for HAC and FSC. I got a range brief with HAC Brigade doing a live fire. We got 161 out at Sicily doing their thing. 57th is going to be rolling out here to go to JRTC. So a lot of stuff going on in the battalion this week. Keep your head on a swivel. Be safe. Get after it. Continuous improvement, guys. That's what we're all about. I don't care how bad your equipment is today. Did you take this opportunity to make it better? All right?
Oh.
Sergeant Major, you got anything else?
Nope, nothing else. Great way to close it out.